Hi, this is my grandma. Her name is Laurie Dodge.
Hey.
Okay, what was your childhood like growing up?
It was fun. It was different. I grew up on an Indian reservation. My father worked for the government. We had a very free life. We could run and play. We didn't have the worries of the city. My father raised most of the vegetables that we ate. It was a fun life.
What were your parents like?
My father was a baker, and I was his favorite. My mother was neat. She always was neat. She was so special, so understanding. A very quiet woman, but if she spoke, you knew she meant it. She was really what held our family together. She was the glue. And my dad was a great guy, and he loved his family greatly. And it was a good life.
What were your brothers and sisters like? How many did you have?
I had 4 brothers and 2 sisters. My favorite was my brother Hugh. He still my favorite. He was always there for everyone. I don't believe he ever said a mean thing in his life. You could always depend on him when he was a kid, and you can still depend on him when you're old.
Is he older or younger than you?
He's 2 years younger than I am. And my children, after I divorced their father, he was their surrogate father. They loved him as much as they could have loved a father.
Did you have like special talents when you were growing up? Could you do anything above and beyond?
Above and beyond. I was a very good student in school. I don't think I had any special talents. I played the piano a little bit, and I don't even do that anymore. I quilt. That's a special talent in this day and time. And I sew. I made all of my children's clothes.
What type of heritage do we have? What's like our cultural background?
Our culture. I belong to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Commonly called the Mormons. We have a very rich heritage in our church. My great grandparents crossed the plains with the Mormon pioneers. I had 2 uncles that served in the Mormon battalion, great uncles. I had a great grandmother on my father's side who was the first cousin to Kaiser Wilhelm. We were English and Scottish and Irish and German background. Music played a very great part in our lives. My mother played the piano. I had an aunt that sang with the Metropolitan Opera. So music's always been important to her.
You had 9 kids?
I had 9 children.
And what was that like, raising 9 kids?
It had wonderful moments. It had lots of hard times. But they're good people, and I guess that's really what all they, to this day still, they do things together as brothers and sisters. They don't forget each other. We have reunions every summer. And family is important. Since I raised them basically by myself, it's to me uncanny that they could all still be so close, but they are.
What's a favorite memory, a couple favorite memories that you had of your kids?
I remember when Lila had rheumatic fever, and we knew we had to be careful because it was affecting her heart. She would play the boss, and I want this, you can't have it. If you don't get it for me, I'll call Mother. And she played it up for all she was worth, and she still does. Favorite memories, there's so many. How do you say one thing is a special memory? Each one of them there was a special. There's my son Dee was and is such a family person. When we were struggling, the children and I, he had a job, and he'd bring me home his paycheck. And he'd say, "Mom, I really could use this week, but if we need it, I can wait." And I think it's wonderful that one of the strongest traits they all possessed was to take care of one another. Favorite memories. Family reunions, going to my grandmother's, swimming in the reservoir, falling off of a horse because 3 of us were on the same horse.
I lived with you for 3 years, so you got to watch me grow up a lot. So, what do you remember me like as a child?
When you were tiny.
When I was tiny.
You were my baby. I'd put you in bed at night, and then I'd go to bed, and I thought you were asleep, and I'd wake up in the morning, guess where you were? You were in my bed. You thought that was where you belonged, and you would say, "Well, Mommy," and I said, "It's Grandma Amber." "Mommy!" And I always knew you were special. You were a good student, you were eager and anxious, and you learned quickly, and I knew you'd do okay.
What's one of your favorite memories? Of me and my sister.
Of you and your sister.
Taking care of us.
Oh, it was just like getting another chance to raise another family, and you were, maybe because I was older and could appreciate more of the gift that you were, that I loved you so dearly. And when your dad was ready to come and make a home for you, it was one of the hardest things I ever did in my life, to let him take you out of the door. Even though I knew I'd see you, but you were my little girl. But I knew that you needed your dad. I knew that you needed someone that was younger. And I knew that he'd take care of you. And Renee would take care of you. It was still hard.
Right now, what's the most important thing in your life right now?
My children, my children. They're really all that there is. When you put everything else aside, the only thing that you can really say belongs to you is your family. And that's the way it's always been. The very first and foremost thing in all our lives has been to take care of our family and stay together. We really, I think, have succeeded, because there's lots of love here.
Looking back, what do you think about your life? How do you feel about everything that you've gone through?
I really can't complain. There's been hard times, but there's been times that were so good that they don't make the hard times seem so bad. And when you have to work your way through something, you appreciate what you have so much more. And truly, truly, we earned what we had. Nothing was ever given to us. We had to work for it. And I think that the bottom line of life is that you really need to work. You really need to earn. And you really need, then you'll enjoy it.
Would you change anything that's ever happened?
Well, I wish for my children that they had had a father that would have been there for them, that they could have known. And I think it's made my sons better fathers. I think they worked harder at being fathers because they didn't have their father. I guess that would be the only thing, is that my family had stayed together and worked as a family together. But we didn't, and we did well without. So I don't really think so. I would, if you asked me if I had too many children, I'd tell you maybe I had too many, but I didn't have any extra.
Okay. Thanks, Greg.